Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Isley. Thanks for tuning in to another video. This time, I kind of was taking some time trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. In my last video, I mentioned I might want to do a stock market analysis tool, and while I'm all for practicing learning Python, it just didn't interest me. So, game development kind of was something I found interesting, and a while back I used pygames. Using PyCharm to create a Space Invaders game. And then I decided, well, I enjoyed that, so why not learn Python doing something I like doing? So I decided to kind of do like a game development, like step by step. So I think I'm going to do, so right now I'm building Hangman. And then in my next video, it's going to be a Hangman using a Pygames to make it with graphics, and then I might possibly use an engine like Unity or something to build Hangman to kind of just get all three variations. But this first one I'm building just pure Python, just so I can practice my skills, and then that's why I'm going to use the framework next, so I can keep practicing the coding skills. But then I still might try the engine out just to see how it goes. But I'm just going to kind of comment through, because I haven't commented any of my code yet, so I'm going to comment kind of what each thing does as I go, and hopefully that helps explain it. But so I used two things here, or a couple things here. I used import random. I actually didn't use sleep, I don't believe. Let me check down here at the bottom real quick. I thought I might have used it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I did. Oh, yep. So I did do sleep. So I actually haven't even tested the exit yet. So we'll see how that goes. Sorry, let me get back up to the top here. Alright. So one thing you do need to know about this import OS, it drove me crazy, but if you're on Visual Studio Code, let me search it up real quick, but output, you have to go to settings because otherwise it will not let you use it. I searched like 2 days for this and it drove me absolutely insane. But one second, let me get to the settings here. So I actually think it's Python settings, debugging. This right here, T program output to debug output window. If you do not select this, you can't use os.system to clear out your screen. So if you're having a headache of clearing out your screen, uncheck this T program output box and then run it, and it'll work. And the phrase I'm talking about here is, I use it a few times throughout, so let me just find an example of it just so you guys know what I'm talking about. By this os system and then clear. So it's just, this is where I just want to clear my output screen, but if you don't have that box unchecked, it just does nothing. So it was driving me absolutely insane. Alright, so these two lists I have right here are just empty lists, but I'm using them later on in the code as global just to append them. But they're going to be empty lists that are going to hold the user's choices that they've done so far. And then display list is that's going to be my word that's being displayed. And I'm just putting secret word because that's what I use throughout. It's like for Hangman, that's the secret word. The following three lists are just lists to choose from. They're kind of like my categories. And then this list is just my game board. It's just my Hangman. So I found it easier. I mean, it looks all jumbled up right now, but each list is a variation of Hangman. And I'll show you that here in a second when I run the code. This is just my options for the player to choose from. So I have that as a list so that once the player inputs what category they want, it checks to see if it's part of the list, and then it'll use that in the code. And then right here, I just initiated a couple, so user cat choice, that's going to be the category that the user chose, and it's going to check it against this list. The secret word is going to be something that the computer's picking, and then the user guess is every time the user guess, it's going to put it there. But I have it as a global because it's used in a couple different spots, so that's all I'm doing is just I was initiating the global variables. These are also some variables that I was using throughout. Alright, so for the first function here, this is my game screen. So this is just going to be displaying basically, let me walk through it piece by piece here. But so it's going to take letter. So letter is the user's choice, and then the word is the secret word. It's going to globalize the game board, user choice, because this is going to be like the very beginning here. So once the user, so this is displaying like, hey, what do you want to play? So once they pick, it's going to append, and it's going to let you know you typed this letter. And it's also initializing the game board right here, so whatever Hangman variation you're on. Your category is whatever category you chose. And it's saying beware that you can only miss, and then that's what this L string was made for, and the H. So H is for what game board we're on, and then L is basically just letting the player know, hey, you have this many more misses until the game's over. And then for J in range, this is saying, hey, for J, in the range through the word, J being the letter that's in the word. If it happens to be a space, because some of my options did have a space in them, append that display list with a space. So you'll see it here shortly, and I can kind of talk through it a little better once I'm displaying the game. And then if the letter in the word in user choice list, so if the letter is in the list that the player's been choosing so far, append the display list with that letter, and then otherwise display a blank underscore for the letter. This is just some formatting these print functions, and then I want to print out that display list separated by a space. So that's the function that's going to be our main game board that you're seeing as a player. My second function here, and I'll go ahead and type that up here. And yep, and like I said, just initializing the globals. Appending with the letter chosen. And then I'm doing a word.upper. So everything's uppercase. So when I'm comparing it, there's no like, hey, that's not it doesn't match kind of thing. And if the letter's not in the word, like I said, it's got to up the game board one piece, and you'll see that shortly. And then change how many misses you can have. And then here I'm just printing it all out for the player to see. This one just iterates through the word like we talked about. And this kind of just prints out the same thing, so alright, so for this function, the computer's choice, all this is doing is picking, using .random to pick a random word out of the list I created. So if you wanted to append this right here with more choices, you could create more categories. So I only have 3 categories, but you could absolutely keep doing it. Else if statements, if you wanted more categories, and then, you know, secret words going to be whatever random choice it has. And then I made it global so that I can use secret word through all of this. All this is the welcome screen pretty much. Welcome to Hangman. Yep. Category you would like to play. Domestic animals. So it's going to print the options, and then you're going to input the option you want, and it's going to dot lower it so it can compare it to right here, since all this is lowercase. And then wrong entry, I just made this so that if you accidentally mess up when typing what category you want, it's just gonna kind of handle that user error. And then it's just going to ask you to basically retype the option, so nothing too special there. So this was like I call it main game logic, but this is kind of like the whole game runs this. This is what my main loop is, so there's a lot going on, but I'll kind of walk through it piece by piece. And then this is really what is the main code here. Everything else is functions. So, but this one's the bulk of what handling user error for inputs and making sure everything's running smoothly. So this runs the game pretty much. So global I is false. It doesn't really need to be global. So this originally was not a function, so I was using it for something else. So really I could bring that in. So I'll leave it like this for now, and then I might come back and fix it, but I don't really want to mess with it too much because I do have it kind of working like I want it to at the moment. So this is going to run the game menu here. So and not first game menu, first game screen is what I wanted it to say there. So that's what this is doing, this loop. So while I is false, if the category the user chose is not in the user option list, put the wrong entry. So this is just kind of handling like, hey, if you didn't type state names and you put like state animals, hey, put wrong entry and have them type it again. Otherwise, break this statement and just keep going. Alright, so the next step would be for the computer to make its random choice. So that's all this is doing right here, is taking that category that the player chose and doing a random choice. So it's choosing the secret word. We're going to prompt the player to input. Alright, so I initiated X is false here, but this statement coming up, I'll break it there. But so this one coming up, this loop is going to check the length of the user input, and if it's not 1 or if it's a blank space, it's going to say only enter 1 letter to start, no blanks or spaces, because you wouldn't think that the player would want to guess the word right off the bat. And then we're going to ask for them to type it again, and then once the player's entry equals 1, X is true, and then it'll move on. And then we're just uppercasing it so it can check it. When it's checking up against the secret word, everything's uppercase, so that's why it's uppercased. And then we're going to clear the screen out. We're going to call the game screen, and we're going to send it the user guess and the secret word. So for this loop now, if underscore not in display list, so if the displayed list, so the displayed list is the secret word, and as you guess, it slowly starts building the word. But if that's done and there's no underscores left, we're going to break this while loop and go straight to, well, first we're going to print U1, the answer was, we're going to print out that word, and then we're going to break, and it's going to come down and it's going to go into this logic right here. But for now, since everything's running inside this, but loop this decides if you won or need to continue. So that's all. Oh. All right, or continue. So this one's going to decide if you won. There's no more spaces. This one's going to decide if you lost because your guesses reached, and not the guesses. In this case, I just did you meet the max hangman. So once h equals 6, which would be a full hangman, and you'll see that shortly. And then print, you lost because at this point it was hangman. And then you won if you guessed the secret word. So if you guess the secret word fully, you won, and we break it. And then otherwise, you're just going to continue the logic. So we're clearing the list out. So we're going to clear out our display list because once the player chooses another letter, we needed to dot append the whole thing again from start. So you don't want, you don't want a long list that keeps repeating itself. So we clear it out. Let's put this back. So print your guess so far. So we're going to print out what the player's guesses were. and then we're just printing it. That's all we're doing here. And then we're prompting for another letter. Or they could guess the whole word now that we're starting to play the game. So next loop coming up, this is basically error handling when they make this first choice right here. And that's really what the rest of these are right here for the end of this function. Handles. Handles first input. Player can now guess the word. So each one of these, if you look, so this one is, and I guess in like plain English it makes more sense, but if the guess is bigger than the secret word, obviously that would be like, you don't really want to ding the player for that, at least I didn't want to. So if the guess is bigger than the word, ask for another guess. Or letters. So basically they just messed up is what I think, and they just typed too many letters. So it's going to let them try again. For the next one, so if the length of the user word is less than 1 or is a blank, so they just have a blank or a space, it's invalid. So if they basically just put empty space there. This next one is if you guessed a word that was less than the secret word but more than 1, so you were kind of in the middle, that would also not be a valid option. You can't just guess partial. So I didn't want to ding them for that. I just wanted them to be able to retry. So that's all this one is right here. And then I needed something to break the loop. So basically if the, oh, don't need to start typing like that. If the user guess equaled the word or equaled 1, it worked. And then it would break the loop. And then for here, it's kind of more the same. There's a couple slight differences. And then we just, like I said, uppercase the guess again. So then for this one, this is if they chose. So the first one, up here, I didn't worry about them picking the same letter. I just want them to get their next input. But if they say they already guessed A, but they tried to guess A again, I needed a way to handle that. So I did while user guess is in the user choice list, they need to pick another letter. And it's very similar statements, but I'll just run through it. So first we're going to prompt the user to guess. You've already selected that letter, guess again. And then we needed a way to handle what they type next. So we're just going to kind of copy paste to save time, but the statement remained the same. Oh geez, I should just use the keyboard because I'm better at that. Alright, so that statement remained the same. This one also remained the same. statement remain the same as well. And then this one is different than the one up here. So the first half was the same, but then we just need to, like I said, to pass into the next phase, it also has to have user guess, not in the user choice list. So let me put not. And then once that's all satisfied, it's going to break the code. It's going to upper it, clear out the screen because all this was going to probably get jumbled up. And then it's going to call the game screen again and send the secret word, or send that letter up, pin the list, and it would just keep running and running until you either lost the game or won the game. So then, so we're going to run the main logic first. So it's going to let you play through a full game. And then once you're done and you've won or lost, this is going to ask if you want to play again or no. So all right. So I think I've kind of moved pretty slow through it, so you've probably had time to look at it. And also you can find this on my GitHub, and I'll have that posted down in the description of this video. But now let's just go ahead and get right to it. I'll kind of close this out so it cleans up the background a bit. All right. So let's just say I accidentally typed wild. Oops, you typed wild. And I just wanted you to know why. So while the capitalization does not matter, spelling and spaces do. So type the category again. So let's just do state names. So we're gonna get started. I accidentally didn't put anything. So hey, you have to enter something, like blanks and spaces don't work. Well, what about double A? No, you can only enter one letter. So I enter A. So A was here. You typed A, your category is state names, but where you only have, you can only miss 6 more letters. Your word is, and then this is what the word looks like. So we know it's first with a space and then another word. Your guess so far, we've guessed A. Please type your letter. So I put A. I've already selected it. So let's try N. Alright, N wasn't in the word. So let's try O. O wasn't. Alright, so see, now I know there's a dot upper messed up. So let me actually fix this real quick while I'm working on it. So user dot upper here. And it was this one right here because it was. See if that fixes it. All right, let me lower this back down. All right, what about C? Alright, let's try that N again, because I think this is a Carolina. So I'm going to try N. Alright, let's try N again. Alright, what if I do S? Alright, cool. So now it's capitalizing it again. So we're kind of guessing through it here. Well, I think it's South Carolina. But let's say I forgot to put a space there, so... Alright, so it wasn't enough. And it's saying, hey, if you're not sure, just enter a letter. Well, I know it's South Carolina with a space. Alright, so we won. Your word was South Carolina. Would you like to play again? Yes or no? Yes, I do. Alright, so I have to go back and take a look at that while I had to type it twice. But let's just do wild animals. A again. Have no idea what letter that or what animal that could be. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, it didn't clear out South Carolina, so that's an issue. And I know why, so I need to clear out the display list real quick. And I guess I could have just typed them, but I'm just going to go grab them real quick. Actually, these are global, so they're gonna append. What I meant to type was display list. And I think I actually typed that wrong, so give me just a second. Okay, now I got it right. Display list not clear. I feel like I've like got it so many times, it's driving me crazy. Alright, so display list not clear, so I just want to check that real quick and make sure it's working. So we're slowly guessing. I know it's Georgia, but what I want to do is kind of show you the countdown. So as I'm getting letters wrong, I try to put B so you can see like I can only miss 4 more. P, Q. Already entered that one. Alright, and then one more. Alright. M. So I lost. The answer was Georgia. Would you like to play again? I just want to make sure it clears out here when I hit yes. Alright, cool. So it cleared out. Oh, no. Something's still going on here, and it's kind of driving me crazy. Sorry, just kind of troubleshooting right now. Thought I had everything, like all the kinks sorted out. So let me just lose real quick. I'm like drawing I'm like drawing a blank on what that could be. Oh, New Mexico. All right. Ah. Drive myself crazy. It's let me just get back to the top because I'm trying to remember what I named it. Alright, user choice list. I need to clear it out. So once we clear out the user choice list, we should be good to go again. So hope you guys don't mind watching me just kind of work through it. I thought I had all this sorted out, but now I'm kind of like in the zone on it. And alright, yes. Alright, now let's go back in. We know we did I last time. Alright, cool. Alright, we're good to go again. But it doesn't want to keep running, so I just want to see if it keeps running. So I'm trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me run through the game again, and I don't know if it's something I'm missing here. So I might have to keep playing with it a little bit to figure out what's going on, but I mean, you guys are kind of getting the gist of kind of how it's working. I just need to clean up my loop. While this falls. Let me take out that I is true, because that would stop it from running the loop. So let me take that out real quick now that I'm looking at it. Oh, jeez. So terrible at state names. I don't know why I keep picking this category. Why? Delaware. All right. Aha! Alright. So I was closing the loop, which I should have kind of caught that. Oh, whoops. Which was it? Dang it. I'm not gonna get my, so let me actually, alright, so now that I got that back in here. So I've never actually tried to end it, so let me run through her one more time with you guys, and let me try to hit no and see what happens. Has a lot of I's for a state name. Oh, Missouri. I don't. Missouri. Ah, nope. I'm no good. Oh, Mississippi. All right. So let's try no. Next plan, and we should. There we go. Cool. So it did exit out like I wanted it to. So the only thing I'm looking at now is why it's having me type yes twice or no twice. So let me look if quit does not equal yes or no. Again, yes or no. So this is kind of. Really, I think I could just. I was trying to do some error handling, I think, right here, and I just haven't fully gotten through it. But I mean, if I take this out, it's gonna say yes or no, and then I mean, I can add in some. I would have to add in some error handling down here to basically if you mistyped yes or no. But that'll take away my double typing, so I'm pretty happy with that for now. So if you want to see what the next set of game code is going to look like, it's going to be with the pygames framework. So I've been reading up on it. I'm hoping to be able to do kind of just enough with images. I think Hangman should be a pretty simple game. There's nothing's really moving besides like I'm populating a new picture image for the Hangman onto the screen. So if you look forward to seeing that, drop me a follow, drop me a like, let me know if you see something in my code that could look better, and yeah, I'll keep kind of pumping these out. It's gonna take a little time to kind of figure out pygames. I'm gonna try to make my own art up, nothing crazy, but I just kind of want a complete project that I can call my own. So yep, thanks for the support. Have a good one.